Hello and welcome to the Sunday live stream. My name is Igor and this is another live stream where we build our Agentic IDE of 2026. And before we start, I would like to say thank you to all my viewers and subscribers. We are very, very close to 50 subscribers. I'm very grateful for all likes and new subscriptions. So if you would like to be up to date with progress on the Shikigami and maybe also other projects that we maintain or we will build in the future, then please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and as well consider joining our Discord server. The link is in the description and I will later also add a comment. So what is the status? Let me show you. If you are new here, then what is Shikigami? Shikigami is exactly what you are looking at now. This is an Agentic IDE that has two areas. One of them is the agentic coding area where you can manage multiple sessions, either codex or cloud sessions with different efforts in different configurations with different models. It's configurable, and we also support already Shikigami supports new models from OpenAPI. So if you would like to try them, you can do it with Shikigami as well. And those two agents, one of them was working on an ongoing task. This is PHP LSP support. It's not yet ready to be merged to production, so I'm still working on it in the background. And then on the right side, another bug, another issue that I uncovered, and this is fixed. It was about duplicated work trees. Now it shouldn't happen. They were duplicated when there was a situation that an agent failed working on something and failed, and you hit retry, a retry button, and there was unfortunately a work tree created, copied with an incremental number. That's not the case anymore. And this is already merged into main. And after the live stream, I'm gonna release a new version of the application, but that will happen after. So let's take a look what we can do today. So I've prepared a few things. I believe first 3 are manageable in today's session, and in manual verification, as you can see, the recent release, it was version, as far as I remember, 0.27, yes, 0.27, and it contains a few useful things, a few changes and improvements here and there. So let me move them into done, and then we can quickly go through them. And just to let you know, so there is a Redis support now, and also the code base of the application is prepared to support multi-provider setup. It wasn't the case before. So before we've added Redis, we made a step back and refactor a bit the current implementation to support multiple providers in the databases area. And the databases area is this thing on the right side where you can define connections. So now you can choose between MySQL and Redis. You can test a connection and verify if it works, and then you choose what databases within a connection you would like to list. Okay, so that is that, and there is another important thing is a monorepos support, and this is okay. I don't have monorepo now opened, but if you have a monorepo project, then you can verify how it works, and you should see a different content of a branch selector area. If there is a monorepo, then first step is to decide which project would you like to go in, and then on the right there will reopen at another area where you can see in the list branches, and then there is a third window, third part of it, and there is a actions actions part like commit, push, pull, and create a new one, all that stuff. Not everything is covered. I would like to add in the future also support for rebasing, deleting. That's not yet available in the standard version of the branch selector, but will be, no worries. Okay, so these were the most important things related to 0.27, and now let's prepare a few things for the next release. And especially I would like to add an option to reorder connections by drag and drop. So let's put it into planning. We're gonna start an agent for that right after we decide what we're gonna do today. So that's the first thing, yeah. Then I would also like to have another set of inputs below refresh and limit. We're gonna add two inputs. One of them will be used for filtering. So it's gonna be a where input where you can type things, and you should also see an auto completion happening. So there will be where part and order by part. That's what we have to design today first, and then start working on the implementation. And the third thing for today, git diff preview. Let me move it into planning as well. So what I'm talking about is, let me open something from the Who's Out of Office project. Let me open a commit. Maybe that one when there is a change in PHP file. Okay, that's actually a very small file. Maybe we have something that is bigger. Okay, that one was removed maybe. Oh yeah, here for example, yeah. So there is a change in the upper part and a bottom part of a file, and I would like to add a button, two buttons actually. So jump to the next change by moving to the bottom of a file, or move up if you are maybe looking at the bottom changes, then you would like to move up, and then you click OK, take me up. Or maybe we can just create a one button and just go through changes. We can decide it later. Let's verify what is easier, and we're gonna use agents for that. So let's start a first session. And today I would like to try... sorry, there is a question. Let me take a look. Yeah, hello chat, thank you for being here. And there is a question, is there a way in your IDE to quickly convert pixels to RAM and see hints showing the equivalent values in both directions? Do you mean what are you referring to? Is it HTML or is it CSS? Please let me know. I'm not sure. Okay, let's wait a bit. And so the first session, allow reorder connections with drag and drop. Okay, so let's start it. And yeah, I didn't finish, so I would like to today try implement something from A to Z with codecs. So let's choose codecs this time, and there are 3 new models for GPT 5.6, Sol, Terra, and Luna. And let's go with Terra, because this is a balanced choice, not too smart. I mean, this isn't a complex thing, yeah? So let's choose a balanced model in this case, so not too fast, with tend to hallucinations, and not super smart, because we're gonna lose too much tokens on it. It doesn't make sense. But of course we're gonna stick to the high effort, because that's reasonable in this case, I believe. So and let's put a label. So drag and drop connections. And let's maybe, okay, yeah, let's put a worksheet for that. Okay, new. Okay, good. So as you can see, by the way, Shikigami supports all new models from OpenAPI, and as well two different agents, Claude Code and Codex. So all you need to have is, of course, download Shikigami application, and as well your local CLI needs to have either one of these two to make it work. Yeah. So just to make it clear, and you don't have to configure anything through Shikigami, because Shikigami operates on your CLI and wrap your session allows you to suspend sessions, stop sessions, resume them later, and just have a better management over them if there is more than one, of course. And I don't know how you use Shikigami. This is very important. So I respect your privacy, and I don't log content of your sessions. I don't. There is no telemetry, so I don't know if there is an error. If there is an error, you should see either a toast, if this is a recoverable error, and if this is a complete crash and the application stops working, then you should see a slightly different view. But both of them contain a button, copy error, and then if you join our Discord server, then there you can share with me the error, and then I will take a look at it and try to fix it for you to make the application better and the developer experience better. So that's how it looks. So I don't know how many instances there are of Shikigami, how you use it, I don't know, and I don't care, to be honest, because this project, I started this project some time ago just to improve my experience at work with multiple agents, and then I published it because I would like to hear your feedback as well. This is important. And I believe that nowadays it's very nice to share projects with others for free. So please remember, this application is for free and will be for free in this shape at least. I don't have a plan to charge you for it. Okay, so the first thing, yeah, let's take a screenshot first. Let's take a screenshot. So this is the databases area, and our goal is to add a drag and drop functionality. But before we do that, before we jump into implementation, so first thing to do is to use one of the skills that we have, that I use every day, and this is a superpowers write plan, implementation plan, of course. And then we would like to have a drag and drop reorder functionality for our connections defined in the databases area. And I believe it doesn't require any more explanation. This is a simple thing, simple change, and as well we attached an image, so the agent should figure out everything. Let's start it, and let's also start another session. This time it's gonna be a Claude session, and that's gonna be databases, or maybe no, so tables preview, where and order by inputs. That's what we would like to have. So now it looks like this. You can refresh This is a preview of a database table. So there is a refresh button, there is a limit selector, but there is more than one thing that we would like to add. But let's start from adding where input and order by inputs below the refresh and the limit selector, a refresh button and the limit selector. And yeah, so that is the first step. I think the last time, yeah, so we also added last time a sorting by clicking on headers, on a header of a column, and so that works, and that is in production as well, but it would be nice to also include a inputs for both things. So that's what we gonna add now. And yeah, let me look at the chat. So there was a question about pixels and rems, if we could have a converter in our IDE. And this is related to CSS and JS files. But maybe for the first iteration, for the first iteration, let's just start with CSS, okay? So CSS, add rem hints. So I believe it means let's open a CSS file just to make it sure. Okay, so this is a CSS file, an example. And I guess so whenever there is a font size, pixels, because usually you if you refer to rems, then I believe it refers to font size. So maybe somewhere here, if you specify a font size with pixels, then maybe we could present here, I don't know how many rems that is, but okay, let's put 1.0 rem. If this is what you are asking for, then yeah, I believe we can add it, but maybe not as a comment, of course, but like a label, a grayed out label. Yeah, let me take a screenshot, and I'm gonna create a issue for that task on our board. So CSS to rem or on hover. Okay, maybe on hover. Yeah, let me think about it. But anyway, I'm gonna add a ticket for that. Add CSS, font size, pixels to rem. Yeah, either hint or a label or a hover pop-up, I guess. Pop-up, okay. Okay, so it's here, it's in our board now. Thank you for your request, for a feature request. Thank you very much. So let me put it as well, maybe below refresh selector branch state after push pull. This is also a thing that should be implemented soon, because now, unfortunately, I missed that. But you have to refresh manually if you push or pull, and you would like to refresh state of branches list, then please refresh manually. But I will add it soon. And okay, so let's go back to Shikigami and let me take a screenshot of our table preview. Okay, so here is the agent that will work on it. And now it's a time for a prompt. So above headers and below refresh and limit functionalities. I would like you to add a new section above columns headers, and below a section where there is a refresh button and a limit selector. So in between, I want you to add a new section. This will be 2 inputs, and one of them will be a where input and the other one will be order by input. So they should accept column names or single or multiple names, where you then filter or order the result set. We can start from a brainstorming session first, and then I would like you to visualize a new section and spin up a localhost server so we can take a look before we move on. But first is a brainstorming session if everything is clear and requirements are covered. Okay, so that one is busy. Let's take a look at the drag and drop connections agent. Yeah, that makes sense. So we now Shikigami stores for you connections that you defined, and as well they are stored in a certain order. So the thing is that whenever you reorder, it should be as well preserved when you close an application and then you reopen it. So yes, it should persist. Okay, and the third thing for today is a file diff preview improvement. So file diff preview improvement, and that is this is about adding a button that will allow us to jump from one change to another, especially if you have a bigger file and you want to preview what was changed, what you will commit maybe, or what was changed, and then you want to jump from one place to another, not by scrolling and looking for them, but with a button. So let's add it now, and as well a new worksheet for that. And let's take a screenshot first. Okay, maybe not here, but in the who is out of office. So here is the thing. By the way, you can switch between side by side and the unified views for diff preview. And I believe next to it, maybe we can add a one button. So jump, jump, jump to the next, to the next. Yeah. But anyway, let me take a screenshot. Maybe a bit bigger. I think I've missed a requirement for autocomplete. Let me take a look. Or maybe not. Oh, I don't see it. Okay, so let's include it in the in the input. Yeah, and these should be raw SQL fragments. This is correct. And maybe I missed that, but I want you to as well include in a plan an autocomplete functionality. So if there is a column that we can see with a preview, I want you to add a mechanism to autocomplete users' inputs. Okay, so we've answered the second question, and also the agent should now read, and it just did it. So it is now aware about the next requirement. Okay. Yeah, and it shouldn't requery until you manually requery for things. Okay, let's go back to the div preview improvement. Let me take a look at one more time. Okay, so that's how it looks. That's the preview. And then next to the unified button, let's add a jump to next, maybe something like this, to the next change. I don't know, we can ask it to come up with an idea. I would like to add a third button next to the unified view button, and the third button should take care of taking users to next change in a file. Yeah, so that's what we want. Yeah, we can start from a brainstorming session, because I'm not really sure how we can implement this. Maybe we should skip situations when user click on a button, take me to the next or whatever, and if this is a change that is visible within a preview window, then we maybe should only highlight that you are here or here or here on a certain line, and then once this is something that is out of the view, then we should scroll to that change to the specific line. Okay, let's give it this and let's wait. Let me take a look at the chat. Sorry, I was focusing for a moment on agents. So or on Hoover, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe I can explore two options and then verify which one is easier to implement. Because if there is no difference, either having Hoover or a static label next to a pixels size, then maybe we can go with a label, because it's then clearly visible to you. You open a CSS file and then you see, okay, this is a font, this is 22, and then in rem this is, I don't know, I'm not a front-end developer, I'm not sure how much that is, but anyway, we can do it. And then maybe even in a settings section, maybe we could add a new section that is languages specific, maybe. Because there will be differences, yeah. Of course, there will be differences in PHP, Python, CSS, whatever, HTML, and then maybe there we could start building customization options. Okay, so the chat says that, for example, there are some VS Code plugins that for that, and that is really useful. Yeah, I believe it is. Thank you for that. We have to include it. That's what I can tell. We have to include it. I'm not sure if this is gonna happen this week or next week, but it is in our. Let me show you one more time. So this is our to-do list, and the second thing is exactly the thing you asked for. Thank you for asking. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you are not my subscriber yet, then please do it if you haven't already. So no worries, we will ship it. And thank you. Okay, but let's take a look now at agents. I'm gonna mute myself for a few minutes. Okay, one rem is 16 pixels. Okay, then 22 pixels, how much that is? We have a front-end developer among us, I guess. Good to see you. Okay, and it turned out that Monaco's library that we are using in Shikigami to render the editor area already contains functionality for go to div next and previous. There is an API for that, so this is awesome. And that also means that we can build 2 buttons for these 2 actions. Awesome. Okay, so let me clarify that we want to reuse as much as we can from a library that we are using. So I want to make sure that we don't write too much custom code. So if Monaco already provides functionalities that are good enough for now, then let's stick to them. Let's not create a custom code to handle the scrolling behavior, but let's reuse what Monaco provides. Okay, so let me cancel this question and let's give it a few seconds to digest the prompt, and let's move to another agent. By the way, as you can see, we have 4 sessions now, and if there is like 4 is still manageable. Yeah, it's still manageable. You can quite clearly see what is the content in each of them, especially if you have a white screen. I have a white screen, but you only see a part of it, so you have to trust me that I have a white screen, but it doesn't matter. If you have a white screen as well, then you can still comfortably manage 6 or 5, it doesn't matter. But if you have a smaller screen, then there is a 3rd button in the top right corner. There are 3 buttons, and the 3rd of them is used to bring an agent to the front, and then you can clearly see because it takes what the content is, because it takes the whole space that is available. And that's exactly what I did now. So let's take a look what the agent is asking about, and let's move on. By the way, this is a difference between vibe coding and vibe engineering. So what we do now, most of the things that we work on together, or I work off stream, then most of these things are in an area of my experience, so to say. So all these things, if you start with a spec first or an implementation plan, and then you take a look at it, then that more or less makes sense to you. I mean, you understand what is happening. So that is what we are doing during live streams. We are vibe engineering. Of course, I don't have as much knowledge as I would like to have about Electron applications and TypeScript technical details, but still I try to manage and navigate, and then choose the most performant way or the most secure way to ship features to Shikigami. And that is also what I recommend you to do if you want to move fast. Sometimes it is better to slow down a bit, maybe consult spec with another agent, agent that you love the most, and ask it for a review. And then as well, you should see it, you should read it, at least most important bullet points. You should take a look at them and verify if this is really what you want, and if you believe that it makes sense, because sometimes agents are hallucinating or are trying to be too nice to you, and they can easily cut corners here and there, and the overall result might be a bit off best practices. So that's not what we want. Let me take a look at it one more time, and I will confirm if I like it or not. Okay, so the first thing is that I don't want to have apply and clear buttons. So submissions should happen on enter, and then we validate what is in inputs. And I want you to make sure that column names match what user can see, because this is a very basic feature. It's not used, and it's not meant to be used for complex queries. So we should be able to verify if, for example, status, like in the example, if a status column exists in the preview. Let me know how we can implement that and if this is even possible. And there is another thing I would like to verify. So this is an application that is used most likely by users that kind of understand what is happening. Yeah, what is a database and the table concept. So I would rather skip setting session transaction read-only, because it doesn't make sense. Either way, you shouldn't put anything that is potentially dangerous into those inputs. And also, I don't believe that you will have access to production database without being an experienced person. So please drop the optional defense in depth that you recommend. It doesn't make sense in this case. Okay, and it looks like we will have a first spec created for a file div preview. Previous and next and previous. Navigation, so this is correct. And we will reuse as much Monaco's functionalities as possible, and I like it as well. Okay, this is good, so I want you to prepare a spec. Okay, now a quick look at the table preview. Inputs. So no apply and clear buttons, we don't need them. If you want to clear, you just use a backspace button and you clear it. You can click refresh, whatever. Yeah, let's verify. Let's see if the validation can be implemented, if it's a complex thing to manage or not really. I would like to have it, but let's see. Okay, let's verify one more thing. Does the autocomplete work if we have a few columns? For example, where column A equals something and column B equals something else. Can then the autocompletion work reliably? Okay, so we have a spec. It was a fast creation. How many requirements do we have actually? Okay, 3. Okay, so now let's move to the next phase, which is creating a plan. Okay, good. So I want you now to create an implementation plan, and I want you to run code review and architecture review on it. Okay, so we run a round of reviews just to make sure that there is nothing that nothing was missed in a plan, and just to make sure that the code snippets that are within the plan, if they are correct. There is also, if there is a more complex feature, I would recommend you to run maybe even a third agent to verify if current code base actually, if it matches what was mentioned in the plan. Because sometimes, I'm not saying that this is happening often, but sometimes agents can find some inconsistencies, bigger or smaller. It depends really how complex a feature is. But anyway, it's better to run a quick third round or a third run on it than just moving blindly to the next phase. Okay, in the where autocompletion agent says that it is fully manageable and we can have it. Okay, let's see. Okay, even with multiple columns. Okay, I'm happy with that. So let's create a spec now. Okay, that's an awesome news. So now I want you to prepare a spec file and include requirements for that feature. I wanted to make this session short, but it's as usual. It's almost an hour. Will be an hour soon. So let me wrap it up. So 2 agents, one of them is working on 2 Claude sessions. One of them is working on a spec file and now implementation plan, so spec was created. The other one is about to prepare a spec. We will have it soon. And then let's take a look and then drag and drop. We are progressing on requirements. Let's see. There is one more thing I forgot to mention, what was shipped as well with 0.27. This is the first step towards multi-languages selector, and there is a new thing in a bottom right corner. If you download or update the application, you will see it. If a workspace lives in a PHP project, or a PHP project lives in a workspace, that's how I should say it actually, then the bottom bar and the right end of it, you will find a PHP version auto-discovered if there is a composer.json file in your root directory. Actually, I don't have it like this. I have an app directory, and inside the app directory I keep my Who is Out of Office project code base. But that doesn't matter. If you have composer.json in your root, then Shikigami will try to understand what PHP version do you use in your project. But you still have an option to do it manually, and this is the first step towards full PHP support. And this selector as well will evolve in the future to allow you to select different languages as well, like JavaScript, TypeScript, PHP and Python. So this is on our roadmap. Don't be afraid to switch between them. Nothing will really happen, not much yet. But there is a part of PHP LSP support already built in. It's not yet fully implemented. I still work on it off streams because it's very boring and I don't want to share it with you because, as I said, it's a boring and a long process. With decisions to be made, and then maybe sometimes I have to move back, take a step back, refactor, and then move to the next phase. So just saying, PHP support started to become a real thing in Shikigami. JavaScript and TypeScript is already as well in a similar way, but just letting you know that I'm progressing on it, so soon we will have more advanced PHP support and more advanced JavaScript, TypeScript support. But the thing is that right here you should see then a bit more complex selector with first level where you decide what languages, servers you want to enable within a workspace, and then what are versions of a certain languages. But that will happen in the future. This is just a first step towards it. So that's what I wanted to share with you as well, because don't be surprised if you see a new button down below. Okay, so we have a spec for the two new inputs in table preview. So let's now create an implementation plan. Okay, good. I like the specification that you prepared. So now I want you to move to the next phase and prepare an implementation plan. Once you prepare it, I want you to run two reviews. One is a code review and the other one is architecture review to make sure that the plan is correct. And of course, I will work off stream a bit after this session. So you may expect, if we manage with agents to finish these two things and maybe as well the drag and drop, I'm gonna release a new version today in the evening, and these changes will be included today in the update. So let's take a look at the proposed design for drag and drop. Actually, let's ask it if Codex is able to spin up a localhost server and show us an example of how it's gonna be implemented. Okay, so I asked it, let's see if it is something that will happen soon, like relatively fast, then I will show it during the live stream. If not, then we're not gonna wait, but let's see. Okay, and the implementation plan for the file div preview buttons, the next preview, so the agent just received a reviews result, and now it is updating the plan, so it's awesome. It's gonna be even better. Okay, let's wait a bit for the HTML document for drag and drop. If it's fine, then we'll ask it to prepare a plan and with an implementation, and we will finish the live stream, but let's wait a few more minutes. Okay, and the plan pass reviews. So now let's start working on the implementation for previous next change in a div preview in the editor area. Okay, good. So now I want you to start working on it. Please go with the sub-agent driven development, and I want you to run final code review and architecture review at the end once everything is ready. Okay, and we have a demo. Let me make it bigger for you, and you should see it now. Yes, you can see it. Okay, so that's how it looks. Yeah. So we have items, we can drag and drop them. Yeah, a simple improvement, but useful, especially if you add a connection. Okay, I can move it like this. Okay, dragging. But why I cannot move this below it? Okay, so it looks like an only drop in within within area that is created by a first and the last element. No, wait. Okay, it works. Okay, sometimes if I move a mouse not exactly at the place that is created by a divider. No, wait. Well, okay, this is just a demo. So let's approve it as it is, and then later I will verify if it really works like this as we see it in demo, or if the experience is better actually. Okay, let's not make it longer. Unnecessary. Okay, so we have a spec. Good. So yes, please create an implementation plan. As usual, we move from one phase to another to keep quality as better as we can, and also to split works into steps. Okay, so now it's the time for the implementation plan, and then please run code and architecture reviews on it. Okay, what about next and previous? Okay, so the plan is created. Okay, but then reviews, and what about a file div? So this is in progress. Okay, good. So that's gonna be it for today. Thank you for joining. Thank you for all likes, comments, and new subscriptions. We have 49. I'm very grateful. Thank you for being here. And thank you for your thoughts and ideas around Shikigami. If you also have other feedback, more feedback and more feature requests, please let me know. Feel free to drop ideas in comments section. Also, you can join our Discord server. The link is in the description. I will also put a comment later. And let's make Shikigami as best as we can during live streams, because the ultimate goal is to make it one of the best Agentic IDEs of 2026. This is our goal. And of course, I'm gonna say it again, the application is free and I fully respect your privacy and I'm gonna be honest with you, because I saw a post about the very similar project, but there is only in that project, there is only an agentic coding area. And a creator said, claims that the application doesn't know about your input, and this is not entirely true, because of course if you want to manage sessions, then you have to put a wrapper on a session, on a CLI session, and that's exactly what Shikigami is doing. It is wrapping your CLI session into its own manageable process. So it means that yes, it has full access into what you type and what is presented on the screen. And I'm saying that because I don't store it, and that's not my intention to in any way sniff on your content. And it's not even stored as a log, as a part of logs. So that's why I really appreciate any new joiners to our Discord server, where you can share with me what happened if there is an error, because I literally don't know, and I wanted to keep it like this, and I put some effort from time to time to verify if the application works as I wanted to work. So no preservation on a content. The only thing that I am storing is a configuration of your workspaces, of your agent sessions. If you suspend a session, then ID of that session will be stored on your machine, but this is not something that the application sends over internet to any server. There is one communication that is happening from time to time, and this is a request for an update. So application periodically checks in the background if there is an update available for your Shikigami instance, and this is the only thing. So anything that is internal for Electron, but no custom code on communication, not at this stage. If this is about to change, if this will change, I will let you know, because we are here just to make the whole process transparent and to make you sure as best as I can that this is a closed source project. That is true, but that this is an honest project, and that's what I am leaving with you today. So thank you for joining. Have a nice day, have a nice evening. If you like what I'm doing, please leave a like, smash that like button, and join us by subscribing the channel, and consider joining our Discord server. I'm happy whenever I see a new face there. And that's it for today. Thank you one more time for joining. Have a nice day, have a nice evening, and bye bye.